tunnel, but it was built after the war, and most people who built it, those were volunteers. They just built it because they wanted to make the city better, and it was built after 1949. So we will get inside because there are also stairs. The elevator is there. We go by that, and those were the first this kind of stairs, the moving stairs that we call it the moving stairs ever in Warsaw. It was very modern. Groups of people arrived here to see it, yes, and now we are going to use it. We can stop for a second here and just turn around. And now going back to the story about the communism, even you can see it even in the architecture here, the decoration, the former decoration of this place. You can see here workers, and it's written here in Polish, we do it together, yes, because during the communism we did everything together. And here to the right you can see soldiers, two soldiers, a Russian one and a Polish one, and it's written together in arms. It means we fight if it's necessary together. Polish army and the army of USSR. Not that we wanted, but we had to. Yes, we were completely dependent about USSR.
Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Kalachakra Star 59. Today, let us explore the Warsaw Old Town, beginning with the Castle Square.
Okay, so welcome in the Old Town now. Some people, they think that the Old Town is the city center. No, there are completely two different parts of Warsaw. You saw in the city center there was crowd, people were moving very fast. Here is a lazy day all the day long. Only the tourists come here. So we will cross in a few minutes the border of the former border of Warsaw. I mean by that the city walls, because to the left you can see the leftovers of the city walls, and in the past they were connected to the royal castle that we see to the right. But first, let me start the story by telling you about this gentleman on the column. It is a very important king. Look, he has a crown on his head because this is a king. This is a Polish king. That's why he holds a cross, a Catholic cross, because only the Catholics could be the kings of Poland. He was very important. He's still important for Warsaw, because thanks to him, Warsaw is the capital of Poland. Before that, the city of Krakow was the capital. To explain you why he moved the capital from one city to this one, you need to hear the history of Poland, but told in short, yes, because then you can understand a lot of things in Poland. So Poland was born as a country in 966, 10th century. What happened there? One of the rulers of the area here, of the land here, he baptized himself. He became to be a Catholic. Very important for the politics in this time. So every peasant, all people in his country become to be Catholics again. So we say this is the beginning of the existing of Poland. And we had kings then. And over then, the crown was always inherited, mostly by sons. So it got over and over. And yeah, there's a shade over here. It's better when Poland grew to a huge country, important country in this area of Europe, and it grew. It was one of the biggest countries in Europe in the 15th century. It was from the Baltic Sea in north until the Black Sea in south, in east-south. So half of European, half of Europe on this side, it was Poland. But something bad happened in 16th century. One of our kings died without leaving a heir. He didn't got any kids. So Poland has a problem. We had a problem here. What now? Who should rule our country? And someone came up with an idea to elect a king, like we elect presidents now. It seemed to be quite modern and good, so we did it. So the noble, the most rich, wealthy people could only vote, but they did. And who could be elected as a king? Everyone, if he was elected, even a foreigner. So first elected king, there was a Frenchman. The others were mostly Polish, but those men, they thought very often first about their own pockets, yes, and interests, and in the second part about the interests of our country. So Poland became to be weaker and weaker. But going back to this gentleman, his last name is Vasa. It doesn't sound very Polish, because Polish name would be Wazowski, yes, and this is just Vasa. It sounds Swedish, because it is a Swedish name. He was half Polish, half Swedish, but elected for a Polish king. And I come back to the story why he made Warsaw to be a capital. Imagine that my hand, this is the map of Poland. Warsaw is here, Krakow, former capital, is here in the north, in the south, and Sweden, where he inherited the crown of Sweden as well, he had to be in the north very often. So Warsaw was half away. And you traveled through Lithuania, didn't you? In his time, Poland and Lithuania, it was one commonwealth, ruled by one government and by one king. So again, it was closer from Warsaw than from Krakow. I know it is a very complicated story. I had to study it for over 6 years, but I told you it in 6 minutes. Do you have any questions about it? Because if you have, just ask, but you understand everything. Thank you for that. We are going to make a walk through the Old Town. Yes? When you stand here, then you in the picture there's a group of the royal castle and in the picture there's a group of the royal castle and this is the royal castle. So it sounds like it's a property of our kings, but it was never a private property of any king, because the kings who lived and worked inside, those were elected kings. So after the death of a king, it could be elected if it was private. So it was kind of workplace. The king could work here or stay here until he was a king, so mostly until his death. Inhabitant. And you just hear that we have no kings for more than 230 years. But listen, this building is 40 years old. How is it possible? Warsaw was destroyed a lot. Not only the old town, also the city center, and also the palaces and the castles. It was important for the Germans, for the Nazi soldiers, to destroy all important buildings for our history and for our culture, because they had a plan to win the war and to rule over stupid people who do not remember their roots, their history. So that's why they burned down all the libraries in Poland. They blown up the museums, and here around the building they drilled over 10,000 holes, 1 meter long. They put dynamite sticks, 10,000 dynamite sticks, and it was blown up. It wasn't much over. I show you the picture.
Minefield.
What it was. Yes, it is completely destroyed. Look, there. This is the column behind you. It was also destroyed. There's a group of people standing. They're standing exactly where we are now. And the rubbish here, this was supposed to be the royal castle. And listen, Germans, they lost the war, as you know. In 1945, they were away, but Poland was not free because the Russians entered Poland. And they weren't happy with our rich history as well. The communistic government, they gave the permission for the reconstruction of the royal castle. Otherwise, the whole nation would be against the government. But they thought they are clever because they didn't invest any cent for the reconstruction. So they thought, okay, we are okay, the government is okay, the permission is there, but it will never exist again. But they didn't know our Polish mentality, you know? We Polish people are like that. When two Polish people are going to collect it. And it was the first national donation ever in the world. Everything what is reconstructed, it is from the private donations. It took time because the door of the museum, because it's a museum now, went open for the public in 1985. So it's just 40 years old. But it is impressive because it is reconstructed. And even from the smallest villages, people, Polish people who lived abroad, they sent money. If someone didn't have any money, widows gave some their wedding rings. So it's impressive, and it's on the UNESCO Heritage List at the moment. On the UNESCO Heritage List, there's also the Old Town, because the Old Town was also...
Hello.
Hello, say hi. Hi. Where are you from?
I'm from India.
India. Yes.
Pune.
Pune. You are only Pune.
No, I'm also Madhya Pradesh.
मध्य प्रदेश हिंदी बोल सकते हो
हाँ.
हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं आपका नाम
time to help to parents. They may stay in an organized, we call this half camps, half a day staying after school, because there's no school at the moment. No, yeah. Okay. Here in front of the most important church in Warsaw, because this is the Cathedral of Warsaw. This is also the oldest church in the Old Town. But this is a good place to present you that Poland is really a Catholic country. 95% of people, those are Catholics. How can I prove it to you? Look, this is one church. Look at the end of the street, there's a second one. And look over here, this is the third one. And all of Sunday, the churches are full.
We are now in front of the St. John's Arch Cathedral of Warsaw. The distinctive red brick structure of St. John's Arch Cathedral catches one's attention the moment one stands in front of it. St. John's is Warsaw's most important church and a prime example of brick Gothic architecture. It was the site of royal coronations and significant historic Polish events. St. John's Arch Cathedral in Warsaw is the oldest church in the city, dating back to the 14th century, and is a landmark of Polish Gothic architecture and history. The cathedral has played a central role in Poland's cultural and political life, hosting royal coronations, major state ceremonies, and serving as the burial site for notable Poles, including King Stanislaw August Poniatowski and the Nobel laureate Henryk Sienkiewicz. St. John's Cathedral was originally constructed in the 14th century and later expanded and refurbished multiple times, notably in the 19th century when it took on characteristics of the English Gothic revival style. The church became a cathedral in 1798 and witnessed key events such as the swearing in of the first European Constitution on May 3, 1791. During World War II, the cathedral was nearly destroyed. 90% of its walls were demolished by German forces, but it was rebuilt post-war with the exterior reconstructed to reflect its medieval appearance based on historical drawings. The original interior, which was richly decorated in the Baroque style, was lost during the destruction in World War II. The current interior, rebuilt after the war, features a simpler Gothic character with a vaulted ceiling and stained glass windows. Notable elements inside the cathedral include chapels and gravestones, such as the Bariczha Chapel with a wooden crucifix from 1539 and the Chapel of Whipped Christ from the 15th century. The crypts house tombs of Polish royalty and luminaries, including the Mazovian dukes, Stanislaw Malachowski, the first Prime Minister of Poland, and other important figures. The cathedral was connected to the Warsaw Royal Castle by an elevated corridor constructed for the protection of royalty after an assassination attempt. It was at St. John's where the Constitution of May 3, 1791, Europe's first, was solemnly sworn in. There are several monuments and epitaphs found inside St. John's Cathedral commemorating significant political, religious, and cultural figures from Poland's history. The inscriptions on these memorials often honor individuals and their contributions, serving as historical and artistic artifacts within the church's sacred space. Overall, St. John's Archcathedral remains a vital spiritual, historical, and architectural landmark in Warsaw, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a testament to the city's resilience and heritage. This bell that you see here is known as the Wishing Bell of Warsaw, located in Canonia Square behind St. John's Cathedral in Warsaw Old Town. It was cast in 1646 by the bell maker Daniel Tim, the same artist who designed Sigismund's Column. Originally, the bell was meant for a church bell tower in Jaroslow, but it cracked during casting and was never used as a ringing bell. Instead, it has been placed in the small courtyard as a monument.
Okay, but first, not about the bell, but first, all the tour guides, they present something what is smallest or biggest in the city. I present you the tiniest, the most narrow house in the town. Can you see it?
Yes.
This is the one. Look, between the greenish and the pink one, there is just one window. And it's yes, and one gate below, yes. And it's as narrow, but it is a small lie of us, because imagine not even one bed could be inside, or not even a wardrobe, but someone had to be very clever, because in Warsaw people paid taxes of their homes. They were dependent of the length, how wide the front of the house was. So these two houses, they were already there. So someone thought, oh, if I build a house between, the front of it would be narrow, the tax would be low, but behind that, it's completely normal. On the side of the river, it's just a regular house. You will see it later. But now about this bell, it's a special one. It never hangs because it broke while taking it out of the mold. So a bell that breaks doesn't give a nice sound. So it was presented here as a decoration. But very soon it turned out that it's a very special one because if you have a wish, you have to touch it, think the wish every day with another group, and all my wishes, they came true. I'm the most happy person in the city. So please join me. Yes, yes, it costs nothing. It's completely for free.
Wish. Nobody should come to know. Wish.
ಸಹಸ್ರವಾಂತಸ್ಯ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಮಾತ್ರೇನ ಕಥಂ ನಷ್ಟಂ ಲಭಿಂಚತಿ.
ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ
ಅರ್ಜುನ ರಾಜ ಬಾಹು ತಸ್ಯ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಮಾತ್ರೇನ
ಕಾರ್ತಿವೀರಾರ್ಜುನ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇದುಂಟು ಹೋದದೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರ್ತಿವೀರಾರ್ಜುನ.
This bronze statue of Warsaw Mermaid is one of the most iconic symbols of Warsaw. The mermaid is the official symbol of Warsaw, appearing also on the city's coat of arms. According to legend, Mermaid swam up the Vistula river and decided to stay in Warsaw. Fishermen caught her in their nets, but upon hearing her story, they released her. In gratitude, she vowed to protect the city and its people. Hence, she is shown with a sword and shield. This particular bronze statue was made by Constantin Hegel in 1855. It has been moved several times but now stands proudly in the market square.
The board that you can see here, let's move. But I think you can figure out what's written here. At least you can recognize at least one word, and it's UNESCO. Because all the old town is reconstructed, like the royal castle, according how it looked like 100 years ago. And it was done exactly, and that's why everything was inside the city walls. It's on the UNESCO Heritage List. And this is what's about, of course, only in Polish, because everyone should know Polish. It's a different, difficult language. Oh, thank you very much.
Warsaw Old Town was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980.